We're looking at, from the Gotham City 5 Walmart exclusive set, Catwoman. Catwoman is a repaint of the Catwoman DC SuperHeroes line, the line that preceded DC Universe Classics, and one of the more sought-after figures of that series too. Now, the original figure had a paint scheme that was more accurate to the comic costume, which was just a simple black leather type costume. And I believe that costume first made its appearance in the Hush storyline and was designed by Jim Lee and really adopted by Darwin Cook in his run of Catwoman. Not a big Catwoman fan. I do like her when she's put into mix with Batman and Nightwing and Robin, but for just on her own, it doesn't really get me. Now, the Darwin Cook stuff was probably the best of the Catwoman series. Anyway, back to the figure. Now, she's of course done in this purple, which harkens back to her 90s comic costume. She's the only figure in this whole set to come with an accessory, and that's her whip. Of course, Catwoman has to have a whip. A nice, soft plastic. And she, as you can tell, it keeps slipping out of her hand. She doesn't quite hold it too well. She has these goggles. They're not removable, but they are clear, and you can see her eyes underneath the clear lenses. Some nice detail on the zipper, gloves, and boots. Boots are kind of clunky. It's a nice sculpt, and the original, at least for me, the original figure is pretty hard to find, and much more willing to put forth the money towards this set and get the Lex Luthor exclusive as well. If I already had this figure, I might not have purchased the set. Seeing as I didn't have this figure or the original Two-Face figure, is pretty much a win-win-win for me. For articulation, her head goes left and right and up and down a little bit. You got kind of the bobble head going on. She has a abdominal joint there. Her arms go in and out and around, rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, rotate at the gloves. The waist articulation, her legs go forward and back, in and out, rotate at the thigh, bend at the knee, rotate at where the boots are, and bend at the ankles. A lot of people, I've seen reviews and read reviews, have warned about her arms, and they seem particularly weak to those reviewers. However, mine seems to be pretty fairly stiff, as long as you don't try and bend her from or manipulate her from here when you're using this joint. Manipulate it from up here. Catwoman, or Selina Kyle, first appears in Batman #1 in 1940. Now, she's had a kind of nebulous past. People have wanted to try and rewrite her and make her a more sympathetic character. And let's start with her original Golden Age / Silver Age bio. Now, she was trying to escape an abusive marriage, and her her husband was really controlling, and so he had all of her assets and uh, all of her property locked away, and so she decided that she would steal it back. And once she did, she she found he had a knack for uh, breaking into things, and I guess she got a rush from that. And she decided, well, I'm going to leave my husband, and so I might as well uh, be a criminal for, uh, for a profession, because I can't do anything else. And so she runs around as a criminal, typical criminal, jewel thief, whatever. Runs into the Batman, and starts to they start to get interested in each other. Aside from the criminal aspects of their lives, or the super heroic aspects of their lives, and she, to the point where she goes so far as to feign amnesia to go straight. Here's where the paths diverge a little, because Earth 2 comes into it, and as an Earth 2 character, the Catwoman reforms and actually finds out the secret identity of Batman, marries Bruce Wayne, and has a daughter, Helena Wayne, who would become the Huntress. Tragically, she dies after being blackmailed into returning to her life as Catwoman. However, her daughter does get justice for her. The Silver Age Catwoman is pretty much the same. She's generally portrayed as greedy and manipulative, but not overly evil. Catwoman was revamped in Batman Year One by Frank Miller as a prostitute who wants to escape her pimp. Really becomes like a Robin Hood type of criminal. She'll keep some fence other stuff to get money and give it to the needy. She learned that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and during Hush had a pretty strong relationship for at least the duration of the story. However, that kind of her relationship soured after it was found out that she was a victim of, we can call it that, a victim of Zatanna, who sort of magically convinced her to, or forced her to, reform for the sake of Bruce Wayne. Just recently, she has given birth to a daughter, Helena, and for a while they played around with, well, is Batman the father, and of course with a name like Helena, and it being the daughter of Catwoman, you would think the logical father would be Batman, and Batman and her did have that relationship during Hush, so it was quite possible. However, that was not the case. It was actually the father was the son of private detective Slam Bradley. Really, Catwoman has become a defender of a certain part of Gotham City, the East End. In the series Gotham City Sirens, she's kind of brought in both Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy into a more heroic role. With that said, I'll go on to my next review.